Hey team, it's Les. Thanks for joining me today for another CHOT Teachable Moments video. Today we continue in the series we're calling The Experience, how to positively affect quality scores and deliver superior care. This series is about the CAHPS question. So let's dive right in today into question 27. And question 27 says support for religious, spiritual, or cultural beliefs may include talking, praying, quiet time, or respecting traditions. While your family member was in hospice care, how much support for your religious, spiritual, or cultural beliefs did you get from the hospice team? They can answer this with too little, the right amount, or too much. And we want that answer to be the right amount. And we have to remember that this question is being posed, it's being asked of the caregiver that's receiving this survey. So the question specifically is how much support for your religious, spiritual, cultural beliefs did you get? Not the patient's. Now, a lot of times when someone reads this, they're probably going to lump this in, and sometimes those beliefs match up. But I've been to plenty of patients' homes where the children, sometimes the spouse, other family members don't necessarily hold the same spiritual beliefs as the patient. And remember, the person that's going to be answering this survey is the primary caregiver, right? That family member that we've identified to receive that survey, and they're going to have this in their hands. And this question actually reads, how much support did you receive for your religious, spiritual, or cultural beliefs? So keep that in mind when we're thinking about this question, who's being asked the question and how they're going to answer it. So, just a few tips to help us along here. First, meet them where they are. We need to try to consciously remove our biases, right? Remove the our beliefs when we are taking care of a patient and their family. We need to remove and not pay attention to the things that we believe and find out what they believe, right? So that we can honor their beliefs and their traditions and their values. We need to meet them where they are. This experience is their experience, right? It is not our experience. So let's keep that in mind. Let's try to consciously remove our biases, remove our beliefs from that situation when we are taking care of those patients and families and meet them where they are. The next thing is to ask, listen, and don't assume, right? How will we know we're able to meet someone where they are if we don't ask, right? So we need to be specific about asking what those beliefs are. Sometimes people just won't want to speak about it at all, and that's fine. Some people will openly and willingly share every little bit of what they believe to you, and that's fine too. We need to find out what their beliefs are and what they would like to have honored, right? The things that they would like to have honored as we're taking care of them and the patient. Listen, right? So when we're asking, we're listening carefully to the things they're telling us because we have a whole team, right? So if we're communicating with this family member and they're telling us, hey, these are the things we believe, we'd rather not hear X, Y, or Z, or we'd really like for people to talk about X, Y, or Z. Either way, we want to listen and then we want to disseminate that information to the rest of the team, right? So this isn't just about spiritual care coordinators. This isn't just about chaplains. While it is their specialty to operate in this field, all of us need to be able to understand and honor their beliefs as we are in their homes. And then also don't assume, right? We don't want to just assume that because we're in Texas, right? And we are in the Bible Belt. We don't want to assume that everyone has the same beliefs. We know that that's not the truth. So we want to find out what those beliefs are. Don't make assumptions. And everyone's heard the saying about what happens when you assume. So don't do it. And then the final tip is to honor and respect their culture because this question isn't just about religious and spiritual beliefs, it's also about cultural expectations and honoring their culture. There's been plenty of times where I've walked into a home and I've been at the front door and I've looked down and seen a pile of shoes there. What does that mean? Well, it probably means that either they have a really, really expensive carpet or that some part of their cultural norm is not wearing shoes inside the home. And so we should honor that and be prepared to honor that. Another example is in certain cultures, you may have when you're meeting with a family, 20 or 30 people in the room around the bed. Some cultures it's more normal for there to be large amounts of people in the room, and some cultures It's the norm for there to be no people at the bedside at all or one or two people there. So again, we need to be sensitive of that. We need to find out what those cultural expectations are and be prepared to honor those things. And those are just a few ways that we might be able to positively affect the answers for this particular question. So let's move on to fruits of your labor. These are the positive comments that we receive back from those CAPS surveys. So in Waco, individuals who provided outstanding care for our loved one and to the family were Director Steve, Chaplain Luke, and Cindy. All of them were kind and compassionate. We deeply appreciated each of them. Well done, Steve, Luke, and Cindy, and well done and kudos to the entire Waco team. Fort Worth, Anna was the very best hospice nurse you could ever imagine. A really good listener and communicator, always concerned about what was best for my mom. She's like an angel on earth. What high praise, Anna. Well done. Kudos to you and the entire Fort Worth team. And in Cleburne, our family was very thankful for Nurse Deb. Deb always kept us well informed. The nursing aide, Tammy, always went above and beyond. We appreciated the dignity and thoughtful care she gave our husband and father. He always looked forward to her visits. She exemplifies what it means to show love. The memory bears made by Tony and Alice will be treasured memories for us to hold dear. We are so appreciative of how thoughtful they were to make these for us. So kudos to Deb, Tammy, and I believe Tony and Alice are volunteers that make our memory bears. So kudos to the entire Cleburne team. Well done. Excellent job. And then finally, Hospice House of Hughley. The facility and the staff were exceptional in every possible manner and comfort that could be needed. Every community should be so fortunate as to have a facility such as the Hospice House at the end. Thank you for everything. Kudos to the entire staff at Hospice House Hughley. Well done. And that'll do it for today. Thank you for everything you do every day for our patients, our families, our facility partners, and for one another. We'll talk to you later.